Once upon a time, Trump worked at McDonald's. Part 1, the beginning of a great journey. It all started on an unusually cold morning in New York City. Donald Trump, once the face of real estate empires, reality TV, and the presidency, found himself walking the streets with nowhere to go. The stock market had crashed unexpectedly, and with it, his fortune had vanished overnight. His bank accounts were frozen, his properties seized, and even his beloved Trump Tower was now under government control. He had made many enemies over the years, and none of them were willing to help him now. After hours of wandering and thinking, Trump stopped in front of a glowing red and yellow sign, the unmistakable golden arches of McDonald's. He stood there, looking at the bustling fast food restaurant, filled with people enjoying burgers and fries. A sign on the door caught his eye, now hiring. Immediate start. With no other options left, he took a deep breath and stepped inside. The smell of sizzling beef and deep-fried potatoes filled the air. Customers laughed and chatted as the staff worked behind the counter, moving at lightning speed to prepare orders. For a moment, Trump hesitated. This was a man who had once owned skyscrapers, casinos, and golf resorts. Could he really work here? A cheerful young manager named Jake noticed him standing awkwardly near the entrance. "Hey there. Looking for a job?" Jake asked with a friendly smile. Trump straightened his posture, brushing off the lingering thoughts of doubt. "I don't just want a job. I want to be the best damn employee you've ever had." Jake chuckled. "Well, I like the confidence. Do you have any experience in food service?" Trump smirked. "I've owned hotels, casinos, and the best steakhouse in New York. I know a thing or two about food." "Great." Jake handed him a uniform and cap with the McDonald's logo. "Welcome to the team. Let's get you started." Moments later, Trump was behind the counter, feeling the polyester of his new uniform scratch against his skin. The hat was a little tight, but he ignored it. He was handed a headset, shown how to operate the register, and was immediately put to work taking orders. His first customer, a young man in a hoodie, stepped forward. "Yeah, let me get a Big Mac, large fries, and a Coke." Trump nodded, but old habits kicked in. Instead of just taking the order, he leaned forward and smiled confidently. "You know, the Big Mac is good. It's a classic, really. But have you considered upgrading to 2 Big Macs? It's a power move. A winner's move. And let me tell you, winners eat big." The customer blinked. Sure, why not?" Jake, who had been watching from the side, raised an eyebrow. Trump's methods were unconventional, but effective. Within an hour, he had convinced multiple customers to upgrade their meals, add extra burgers, and try new menu items. His sales skills, honed from years of making billion-dollar deals, were now being used to sell fries and burgers. And it was working. By the end of his first shift, Trump leaned against the counter, exhausted but exhilarated. He had expected humiliation, but instead, he felt something different: determination. If this was his new reality, then he was going to be the best damn McDonald's employee the world had ever seen. Little did he know, this was only the beginning of a much bigger journey. The greatest Big Mac seller. The next morning, Trump arrived at the restaurant 15 minutes early, dressed in his McDonald's uniform like a soldier preparing for battle. He took a moment to adjust his visor and studied the morning crowd. Business executives grabbing breakfast sandwiches, construction workers ordering their morning coffee, and parents treating their kids to happy meals. It was a diverse clientele, but Trump saw them all as one thing: potential customers. He wasn't just going to take orders. He was going to maximize every sale. When his shift started, he jumped right into action. "Folks, let me tell you something. This Egg McMuffin? Fantastic. The best. But what if I told you we have a limited time deal? You get TWO for the price of 1 if you add a hash brown. That's value, that's quality, and let me tell you, that's what winners eat." A businessman hesitated, then nodded. "Yeah, okay, I'll take that." "Smart move," Trump said with a wink. "You're gonna love it." Within the first hour, sales had doubled. Trump's enthusiasm and natural persuasion skills were making customers spend more than they had planned. His co-workers, at first skeptical, began to take notes. Jake, the manager, was both impressed and slightly terrified. "I don't know what's happening, but our numbers are through the roof today," Jake muttered to another supervisor, but not everyone was happy with Trump's aggressive upselling. An older employee named Bob, a seasoned McDonald's worker who had been with the company for 15 years, watched with narrowed eyes. "This guy thinks he's hot stuff. Let's see if he can handle the lunch rush." And soon, the real test began. As the lunch hour approached, the crowd grew. Orders started flying in, the kitchen was overwhelmed, and the fryers were working at full capacity. Trump, instead of panicking, saw an opportunity. "We're gonna run this like a high-class steakhouse. Efficiency, speed, and top-quality service," he shouted, taking control of the floor. He moved workers around like pieces on a chessboard. "Linda, you focus on the fries. Tony, double-check every order before it leaves. Jake, we need more cashiers up front, let's move." The team, caught up in his infectious energy, responded. Orders flew out faster, customers were delighted, and for the first time, the usually chaotic lunch rush ran like a well-oiled machine. By the time things settled down, Bob crossed his arms. "Not bad, rookie. Not bad." Trump smirked. "Not just not bad. The best lunch rush numbers in McDonald's history. Believe me." Jake checked the register data and whistled. "He's not wrong. We just hit a record for most sales in a single lunch shift." Trump dusted off his hands. "Of course we did. Because when you have a team that believes in winning, anything is possible." That evening, as he clocked out, he realized something: he wasn't just surviving. He was thriving. And this was only the beginning. The rise of the McDonald's empire. As days passed, Trump's influence at McDonald's grew. His sales techniques, customer engagement, and leadership transformed the restaurant. Soon, corporate executives from McDonald's headquarters took notice. A regional manager named Susan visited the location to see what was happening firsthand. She observed how Trump commanded the floor, upsold every meal, and motivated employees like a true leader. Impressed, she pulled him aside. "Mr. Trump, we've never seen numbers like this before. How would you feel about a promotion?" Trump grinned. "I love promotions. What do you have in mind?" Susan smiled. "How would you like to manage this location?" And just like that, Trump's McDonald's journey was about to reach a whole new level. The art of the McDeal. Trump's rise through the McDonald's ranks was meteoric. Within a week, he had mastered the cash register, optimized the drive-through lane for maximum efficiency, and even convinced Jake, the manager, to let him redesign the menu layout to highlight power meal deals. But Trump wasn't satisfied with just being a regular employee. He had a vision. One evening, after the dinner rush, Trump called for a team meeting in the break room. The employees, mostly high schoolers and college students, were puzzled but curious. Jake, arms crossed, leaned against the wall. "Listen, folks," Trump began, standing confidently before them. "You're all doing fine. Fine is okay. But fine doesn't win. Fine doesn't dominate. Fine doesn't make history. And believe me, I know a little something about making history." The crew exchanged glances. "So here's what we're gonna do," Trump continued. "We're going to revolutionize the way this McDonald's does business. We're talking upsells, premium service, and, most importantly, branding. We're not just selling burgers, folks. We're selling success." One of the employees, a quiet college kid named Brian, raised his hand. But aren't we just making food?" Trump smirked. "Wrong. You're building an empire. And that empire starts with the McTrump special." Jake sighed. "What's the McTrump special?" Trump slammed his hand on the table. "A deluxe meal. Bigger. Better. A true winner's meal. 2 Big Macs, large fries, 10-piece McNuggets, and a drink, all for a tremendous value. Limited time offer. We push it hard, we dominate sales, and we put this McDonald's on the map." But corporate has strict rules on menu items, Jake interjected. Trump grinned. Jake, my boy, rules are just suggestions. Until they see the numbers. Despite initial skepticism, the team agreed to give it a shot. The next day, Trump personally manned the counter and drive-thru, pitching the McTrump special with the confidence of a man closing a multi-million-dollar deal. Listen, folks, he said to each customer, this isn't just a meal, this is a statement. You want to be a winner? You get the McTrump special. The results were immediate. Sales skyrocketed. Customers, amused by Trump's pitch, ordered the McTrump special just to see what the fuss was about. Soon, the store had to increase its inventory just to keep up with demand. By the end of the week, a regional McDonald's executive visited the store to investigate why this single location was outperforming every other franchise in the district. And when he walked in, he saw Trump shaking hands with customers, posing for selfies, and signing Big Mac boxes like they were book deals. Jake approached the executive nervously. Listen, sir, I can explain, but the executive held up a hand. No need. I just have one question, how the hell do we get this guy on board with corporate? Trump, oh.